Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is If Loving You Is Wrong, Season 3, Episodes 17 and 18. And the name of Episode 17 is Tippa Haynes, and the name of Episode 18 is The Party Has Just Begun. Now, I'm combining the both of them because, for those who have seen my previous video, I've been out of commission due to my illness, but I'm getting better now, so I'm going to actually combine them. So, just let you guys know I still want to help deliver these videos, and I'm about to get started right now. Alright, so, Tippa Haynes, Episode 17. The episode opens up, Alex is coming back from the deli with the kids, Paisley and Peter, and she runs into Randall, aka Psycho Betty. He wants to talk to Alex, and she sends the kids in, and immediately he starts asking questions about, her and Lucian. At first, Alex is taken aback to it, but she begins to see that, Randall is further and further digging this hole, because he's saying, well, if I'm not the biological father and you saying you've been with multiple partners, I know that baby's half black. So the only black man that I know is Lucian. So is it true? Tell me why the fuck Alex starts playing in on it, saying that yeah, it was Lucian, and there was other guys. Like when you look at that baby, you may think he looks like you, but he really looks like Lucian. We was doing it in the backseat of his car and all of this shit. And I'm like, Alex, see, here you go, starting more shit. And now you fucking with Natalie's situation. And it just goes to show you that, there's no line that Alex won't cross. But the same goes for Psycho Betty, because Randall starts calling her all kind of bitches and hoes and sluts. And she was saying that, but you know about me, aren't you a psychiatrist? So you should know that someone from my background, coming from abuse, physically and sexually, that, a lot of times people who come out of those situations live a promiscuous lifestyle. Well, she's like, I'm very promiscuous, and I've had many partners. And then she starts taunting him about, I think about, me and you and how we used to have fun in the shed, and don't you miss that? And he's saying, no, I don't. But she can tell that he does, and she's, egging him on, saying like, yeah, don't you miss it? Don't you miss how, how it used to feel when we would get together in the shed? And she starts playing along with him. And while that's going on, tell me why the fuck Eddie rams his damn truck, damn near hits the both of them, and he pretty much gets out the car. And the kids saw this too, and Paisley and Peter, they grown as hell, but they were funny. They was like, maybe Uncle Eddie was testing and driving, and then Paisley's like, you shouldn't be testing and driving, it's dangerous. And he's like, man, he's like, tell Alex, like get your ass in the house. And she's like, and Alex like, don't talk to my kids like that. It's like, I talk to them like the way I want to. Get your ass in the house. And she's like, and then Paisley's like, I'm beginning not to like him. And then Paisley's like, and then Peter was like, I've been stopped liking him. I don't know where you've been. And them two kids are a mess. I mean, Brad's kids are hilarious. They are so grown, but yet they're very smart at the same time, because they're starting to see things for what it is. So the kids go in, he goes off on Randall, Randall goes back to his house, and then he lets Alex know that, that cop Andrew, you ran him over. And she's like, no, I didn't. He's like, yes, you did. You ran him over. So really what he's doing is that he's taking the heat off of him with Andrew and trying to put it on Alex, saying when Alex, took the cop car and she dragged him across the street, she ran over Andrew while doing so. So he's saying that, well, you need to realize it, that Andrew's dead, and that makes you a murderer, Alex. I'm trying to help you. you actually killed that officer. And Alex begins to say that, look, she pretty much, just pretty much said that, look, I am not subject to this situation, and I have nothing to do with this. And he can tell that someone's been advising her, and we know from the previous episode it was Esperanza who let her know about the fact that she's being, she's pretty much being subject to being convicted to murder. So she kind of let her know that she needs to get a story and stick with it. So he can tell someone's been talking to her, but he's letting her know that, look, you need to get to the bottom of this, because at the end of the day, you murdered a police officer, and you can go away for a long time. So I suggest you you get on your P's and Q's and you make things happen. And then he leaves. I'm like, Eddie, you smug son of a bitch. It's like he can't. It's like Alex is just more deeper and deeper into the situation, and it's just crazy. Next, I'm going to talk about Kelly, and I'm going to put all of Kelly's stuff all into one swoop. First, Kelly she's still at the bank. Travis is out with her son Justice, and she's paranoid because she doesn't know where they are or where, Travis is taking him. But she gets a call from Tyrell from jail, Justice's biological father. And they talk on the phone, and he pretty much, is pretty much checking in on her, and he immediately knows that something is wrong. So he knows Kelly very well. And he's saying that, yeah, I may be in jail, but I know when something's bothering you. What's going on? Instead of her admitting that, that she thinks that Justice got kidnapped, she brings up Miss Diane, his mother, and saying that she's been harassing her, and that she's saying that she wanted a key to the house and all of that, and that she's not backing off. And he said that, look, I'll talk to my mother and tell her to back off. And she was saying that, look, I told her that I want to talk to Justice first before you come over here. And, she's just trying to force everything down my throat. He's like, look, I'll talk to my mother, and then he also says that he loves her, but Kelly doesn't say it back. He's like, I know you don't have to say it back, but you will. Trust me. And he's like, I got your back, I'm going to look out for you. So Terrell so far seems like he's a real good dude. Even though he's in jail, he actually does represent that he is a good person, and that he agrees that, yeah, I shouldn't just show up on your doorstep. I think, you owe it to Justice, to actually talk to him first and let him know about me, so therefore when he sees me, it's not weird. So I respect that. So far Terrell is cool in my book. Then, we're going to go back to the whole kidnapping situation. Kelly is talking to Esperanza on the phone, after she talks to Terrell. She's talking to Esperanza, and Kelly's, going frantic because she's like, she doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know where Travis is taking Justice, and she's like, why is he doing this? Why is this son of a bitch doing this shit? So then we see that Esperanza goes to talk to Rick in regards to the situation, and they're saying that they're trying to track, Justice's phone, and, they're trying to find out where Travis is. And then it gets to the point where Rick starts asking Esperanza questions about Kelly. Has Kelly always done situations like this? Because it seemed to me, did she actually send Travis to go pick up her son, and then now she's trying to tell on him? So all of a sudden, Esperanza and Rick are like really butting heads, because it's like she's wondering, like, why the hell are you coming at my friend like this? Why do you think she did this? Travis is lying. But he lets her know that his restraining order went through. Hers has yet to be filed. So right now, it's looking like Travis is the victim and Kelly's the aggressor. So they're pretty much going back and forth. And then Esperanza's like, you know what? You need to, cut the bullshit because that's my friend, and I'm letting you know that Travis is lying, and you need to do your job. And he's like, I am doing my job. And she's like, well, you ain't doing a good job at it. He's like, well, I'll continue it once you get the hell out of here. So it's like the two of them, Rick and Esperanza, do not like each other at all. Point blank. So next, Esperanza gets Kelly back on the phone, and she puts Rick on the phone, and he's saying that, look, we're tracking him down. We got a location, and we're going to go to it. And she's like, no, I need to be there. I need to be there. I need to be there. I need to do something. And I'm like, Kelly, you've been sitting your ass at that bank the whole damn time. You should have been left that bank and should have been going everywhere to find, where your son is. As a matter of fact, don't you know Travis' parents? You need to pay them a visit and let them know you need to check your son because your son is out of bounds. There were a lot of things you could have done besides sit at that bank with your assistant. So, girl, cut it out. And then we also had this little situation with Marcy and Brad. Just briefly, they're confessing that they do love each other, even though they still love their spouses. Brad still loves Alex and she still loves Randall, but they confess that they actually do have feelings for each other. And he actually feels her stomach and notices something different. And Marcy becomes defensive and was saying that, well, if I were to have a baby, I wonder what would happen if it was your kid. And he's like, well, that would be a whole big mess. And she's like, well, why? Why would it be a mess? I mean, Alex and Randall can go have a kid, but we can't have a kid? What does that mean? But then again, it makes me question, is it Brad's kid? Because remember, Brad did have a vasectomy, but it could have reversed. And the way they was getting on in that shed, Marcy was feeling every bit of Brad at that moment. So you never know. Oh yeah, and then we also had a quick scene with Natalie and Lucian. Natalie is at her job at the burger joint, checking in on the staff, and Lucian is letting her know, like, look, if you don't get your butt over here and hurry up and get to this house, and she lets her know she'll be there in 20 minutes, but then. And then, it was kind of funny because, Natalie went off on one of the employees who was folding the wrapper. She's like, excuse me? Why are you folding that paper like that? Is this your first day? Because it's about to be your last. And I'm like, Natalie's a mess. But yeah, that scene was pretty cool. Then we have the scene with, after that, Randall gets a visitor from Tippa Haynes. She's there to get his DNA for the paternity case, and she's going to take blood as well as swab his cheek. But obviously, the two of them, it's obvious that there's some instant chemistry between them because she's flirting with him, talking about something, oh, you got nice muscles, and he's like, oh yeah, and you got a nice body too. You work out. She's like, yeah, I used to compete and all of that. So they kind of going back and forth, flirting with each other. And she's like, I don't want to hurt you or anything. And he's like, oh, it's okay because I like it rough. I'm like, Psycho Betty, cut your bullshit. But it was really funny because the both of them are going back and forth and shit. And pretty much he asks his question about her, like, so what you doing this evening? And she's like, oh, I'm having dinner with my wife and children. And he's like, oh, so you're married to a woman? She's like, yeah, we got married in New York. Because, they in Maxine. We know they don't go down in Maxine. But, she's a lesbian. And, she said that, me and my wife, we're very good. And, I'm going home to, have dinner with my wife and everything. So she pretty much says that, look, I got everything together, but then he mentions, well, there's another guy named Lucian. She did mention that there was another guy who could possibly be the father, and you should go check him and see if and actually get his DNA to see if that he may be because he's going by what Alex told him, and because he's psycho betting, he's fucking psycho. You know, he's immediately thinking that, you know, Lucian may be the biological father. So he pretty much pressures Tippa to say, like, look, go and get those papers so you can go test Lucian too. And then at first she was like, well, I don't understand, you know, why is it that men don't want to step up and take their kids and we got to do DNA to prove that they're the father? And he's like, oh, whoa, pump your brakes, baby. It ain't nothing like that. I want custody of the son. She's not trying to give me custody, so I want my DNA to come back that I'm the father so I can get full custody of my son. So she ends up leaving, and then Psycho Betty goes into his bullshit and was like, you think you gay, right? Wait till I get to you. You're going to be my next baby mama. I'm like, see, it just goes to show you that Randall, a.k.a. Psycho Betty, is a messy motherfucker. Because you already know she got a situation, and yet you're still going to try to implant yourself, just like you did with Alex and Brad. You're a piece of shit. And then the episode ends, you know, Kelly, Esperanza, Rick, and this other cop, they pretty much, you know, get a lead. You know, they track Justice's phone, and his phone, you know, it leads them right to Kelly's house. And they go inside the house, and they're pretty much blocking Kelly from coming in. They actually come out coughing or something, so we're made to think that maybe somebody's dead in there, and Kelly just loses it and just goes fucking crazy. And because she's thinking that there's an actual dead body in her house, and she's thinking, where's my son? Where's Justice? Where's my son? Where's my son? And that's where episode 17 ended. Now, episode 18 picks up from that scene where Kelly is going frantic because she thinks somebody's in her house, and it's pretty much her and the police, and, you know, also Esperanza's there, and pretty much they let her know that, oh, no, it's not that someone's dead, it's a gas leak. And the cop lets her know, you lucky, because, you know, we could have got blown up as soon as we turned on the light, because the gas has been running. And then they're asking, did you leave the gas on? And she's like, no, I wouldn't do that, you know. And she's like, this is Travis. And Travis, you can tell, Travis is trying to spin the situation, but I'm going to further explain it in a second. So, next after that, we go to Alex's house. Paisley and Peter are doing their homework, and, you know, all of a sudden, Peter hears all the police outside or whatever. You know, he pretty much marches in and knocks on the door and tells Mom, like, Mom, the police outside and they're everywhere. Immediately, Alex panics because, you remember, she just had a situation with Eddie, and also for the fact of what Esperanza told her. So she's like, okay, let me get myself together in case they start asking me questions. Little does she know they're not even there for her. But, you know, so she comes out and tells the kids to go upstairs and to finish their homework. Of course, they start talking back because her kids are grown as hell. So, but eventually they go upstairs. She goes out and she sees that the officer is at her door. And actually, the old dude that plays the officer, he was on hit the floor with his fine ass. Yes. But what ended up happening was that Alex comes outside and she sees that Kelly's there. She's like, oh my God, what's going on? And she's like, you know, Travis took Justice and Justice is missing. She's like, no, Justice is here. And Kelly's like, what? And Alex was like, yeah, Justice is here. He's right upstairs. And she's like, Justice? And Justice runs right downstairs. And I'm like, Tyler, you SOB, you had me going. I was like, what? So all this time, we was thinking that something bad had happened to Justice. Turns out Justice ended up picking him up, giving him ice cream, and then he dropped him off in the neighborhood, and he went to Alex's house because Kelly wasn't home. So the whole time he was pretty much hanging out with Peter and Paisley, and he was all the way upstairs. So he runs downstairs, and You know, he's like, you know, she's like, oh my, and you know, of course Kelly breaks down, you know, because she's happy that her son is safe, but then also was frightened to think that something bad had happened to him. But then he lets her know that, oh no, Travis was nice. He just, you know, took me and gave me some ice cream, and you know, he dropped me off. And you know, the officer's asking, like, you know, has he done this before? And he's like, yeah, he picks me up all the time. And Kelly's like, no, he used to. But then she lets him know, me and Travis are no longer friends. I do not want you talking with him nor getting in his car ever again. Stay away from Travis. And she's like, okay, Mom, okay. You're like, what's wrong? Like, because what I'm going to bring up is that this is how Travis is getting Kelly. He's spinning it where he looks like the victim and Kelly looks crazy. And he's literally driving her insane. Because she's panicking, and the whole time, justice is okay. But, you know, due to the fact that she knows that, you know, she definitely has in the back of her mind that Travis did something to Ramsey. So she's immediately scared, but it's to the point where I'm just kind of over Kelly and her bullshit, because, like, come on now. You many times could have pretty much put this situation to rest, but you have prolonged it, and since you prolonged it, now it's out of control, and now he's making you look crazy. You should have took his ass down when you had the chance. But then also, we also found out from the last episode, Tippa Haynes, because now when it came down to her filing for her restraining order, and that the lawyer would never take her meeting and that he would never put it through, we also found out from the last episode that the lawyer is a member of Travis's church. So it's like Travis is really the one who's kind of winning right now. The question is, what is she going to do? Because we already know this is not the end, and that Travis is going to keep coming back. But just this whole situation is crazy, because that whole thing had Kelly shooken up. But at the end of the day, Kelly, you brought the shit on yourself, so moving on. Next, we have a scene with Ben and Stevens. Stevens pulls Ben aside and asks, and Eddie's looking on, you know, and he asks Ben, you know, were you in the captain's office? And at first he lies and says, no, I haven't been in the captain's office. And he said that, and he pretty much lets him know that, look, I had a camera placed in here after the captain's been gone. You need to tell me, because we actually have proof that you were in this office and that you used his access code. First and foremost, how'd you get that code, and why were you in the FBI database? And at first he lies, and he lets him know, like, look, you tell me one more lie, your ass is out of here as quick as you can blink. And then at first he's like, look, you know, he starts asking questions. Are you down with Eddie? You know, are you and Eddie working together? You know, and first, you know, Stevens ain't trying to tell him nothing, but he's like, look, I'm not going to tell you any information unless you let me know that you and Eddie are good. Because if not, you can just fire my ass, because I'm not going to give you anything. So he tells him that him and Eddie are cool. So he's like, okay, well, Eddie had me go in to the FBI database to find Claudia. And he's wondering, okay, why? And he's like, because he thinks she's FBI and all this shit. And then Stevens is like, man, that asshole thinks everybody's FBI. So he's like, you know what? Go out, tell Eddie I want to speak to him. So he goes out and he tells Eddie that, you know, Stevens wants to speak to him. So he gets summoned to the captain's office. And all of a sudden, Eddie's like, what the fuck did you tell him, Ben? And all of a sudden, he goes in there and he lets him know that, yeah, you know, Ben let me know what happened, that you the one who sent them in here to go into the captain's office to look at you know, to pretty much look into the database. And he's like, well, yeah, better him than me. I mean, hell, I ain't trying to get fired. So I'm like, dude, you was literally setting Ben up to get fired to do your fucking dirty deed. Like, you grimy ass bastard. But that's Eddie. So he pretty much lets it be known that, look, I'm trying to find Claudia, and then he kind of puts an end on, on Julius, and he says that Julius wants him to take care of 3 people, Quan, Tessa, and Claudia. I don't know why, but he wants me to take care of them, and he says that, I'm good with him, so I don't want to mess that up. I'm like, no, motherfucker, you're not good with Julius. The reason why you're doing this, because if you don't kill these 3 people, Julius is going to kill you. That's the reason. But of course, he's playing along like he's in good with the Moscata family, and he was saying that, look, I'm working this angle, and you have to, like, work with me. And he's like, look, and then, like, Stevens is like, look, I want in on the Moscata situation too. I want to be a part of this. So Eddie's like, okay, fine. So I'm like, wow. So Stevens, I don't trust, because at one minute you're thinking he's with Lucius, and one minute you think he's with Eddie. So it's like with him, you can't tell whose side he's on, but I think it's because he's on his own side. So I think he has his own agenda in the situation. I could be wrong, but that's where I'm sticking right now, that I think Stevens has his own personal agenda that has nothing to do with either Eddie or Lucien, but he's going to use the both of them to get what he wants out of the deal. Next, we actually have a scene where Terrell calls his mother, Diane, North Philadelphia born and raised is what I like to call her. He calls her on the phone, and he lets her know that, look, you need to lay off Kelly. Kelly is a good mother. She's trying to raise our son. I took the fall for our son. So it's like, I didn't take the fall for Kelly. I took the fall for Justice. And she's like, have you heard about him? He's really smart. He goes to a good school. He makes good grades. He's a really smart kid, And she's saying that, look, you need to let Kelly handle this. You need to let her introduce, you need to let her talk to her son first before she brings me in. And he's just real calm. He's like, Mom, back off. Back off. She's like, well, and of course you really see that Diane really loves her son. And she's like, well, I'm just mad that you up in there rotting in jail for her and all of this shit. And he's like, Mom, I'm letting you know, back off. Let Kelly handle this. And she says, fine. Little does she know that she now has a copy of Kelly's home key to give to him. So once he get out of jail, she's going to bring him right to his ass. She's going to bring him right to her ass, So then we actually see that later on, Kelly and Diane run into each other down at the police station because the police want to talk to Kelly. And, she lets them know that, I'm actually down here because they're going to actually do a parole hearing for my son today. And, and once he gets out, I'm bringing him to you. She's like, oh, no, you're not bringing him to my house. And she says, you know what, you need to give me my key back. She's like, girl, please. I'm like, Kelly, you should have never gave her the damn key in the first damn place. After she done talked to you all kind of way up in your house and at your job, she wouldn't have been getting my motherfucking key for nothing. So you was dumb as fuck for doing that shit. But anyway, she lets her know that, he's getting out, and she's like, well, and I'm bringing him to you. And she's like, no, you're not. He's not coming to my house. Well, she said, well, you need to tell him that. And she's like, Miss Diane, she said, tell him that. I'm like, Miss Diane, Miss North Philadelphia born and raised is just, she just gives no fucks about Kelly and can't fucking stand her. So, and she right there, she's loyal to her son, and she probably don't think he's good enough for her that she's good enough for him anyway. So she really gives no fucks about Kelly. Next, we see that Natalie gets out of the cab in front of the new house. Next thing you know, we see Psycho Betty, and she has his own theme music while he's walking up the street to Natalie's house. And all of a sudden, she's like, man, what the hell you want? He's like, hey, I just wanted to say hello and welcome you to the neighborhood. She's like, boy, bye. Get the hell out of here. She's like, you know what, Randall? Why are you here? I don't like you. I never will like you. If your ass was on fire and it took my spit to get the fire up, to put the fire out, I wouldn't even spit on you. So get the hell away from me. And then he starts saying that, oh, you know that Lucius and Alice is having an affair. Alice told me, and you know, I actually saw them together earlier today and everything. He actually went into our house and all of that. And I'm like, see, here you go, Psycho Betty, being messy, talking, you know, writing checks that your ass can't cash, and you talking about shit you don't know. So immediately, Natalie goes into defense mode. She goes to Alex and asks Alex did Lucius come there. She said that, yeah, he came, you know, for about 5 minutes or whatever. He just came in to check on me to see how I was doing. So by the time she gets out, Lucian is back, and her and Lucian have it out, and she asks Lucian, did you go over to Alex's house? He says, no, I ain't go over there. I ain't go over there at all. But then she says, oh, but I just talked to Alex, and he's like, oh, yeah, I stopped by. You know, she said she was like, she had some mail or whatever, and I just got the mail because it went to the wrong address. And immediately Natalie goes off because she's thinking that, one, you lying, but not realizing the reason why he's lying is because he's trying to surprise her. And she's just not hearing it at the moment. So he was like, you know what? You don't believe me? Go down there and talk to Alex then and embarrass yourself. Because I'm letting you know I didn't do anything wrong. You know, I'm letting you know that, I'm letting you know I'm being honest with you, but you don't want to believe me. So go down there and talk to Alex's ass. She goes down there and talks to Alex. Alex confesses to her and lets her know that I did tell Randall that that me and Lucian was messing around, but I was only doing that to him so he would leave me alone because, you know, I tried to prevent him from getting custody of the baby, so I used that, you know, said that I was messing around with other men so he wouldn't get custody. And then she's like, but Natalie, you have to believe me. I would never do something like that to you. And Natalie looked at her and was like, yeah, but you did it to Marcy. And Alice couldn't say shit. Because it's like, yeah, bitch. Marcy was a part of your little girl group, and the whole time you was smiling in her face, but yet was sucking off her man up in that damn shed. Yeah, I don't give no fucks about Alex. Alex is full of shit. So, but she said that, you know, I'm sorry, you know, I didn't mean for this to get back, but he did come by here, but he came to get something. She's like, what did he came to get? She's like, I can't tell you. It's a surprise. And she said that, look, you and Randall need to get in the bottom of your shit, and, you know, stuff like this, people can get hurt. And she kind of gave, like, Alex that look like, bitch, I will fuck you up if you fuck with my man. Don't even play no games like that. Yeah, because she did ask Lucian, are you having an affair with Alex? And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? And that's why it's like, you need to go talk to Alex then if you don't fucking believe what the fuck I'm saying. So she finally goes back, and everything is all good, but then she goes into the house, and she's amazed. The house looks nice. The house is spotless, and it's been remodeled. I mean, it really looks really nice in there. Little do you know that someone just recently got murdered in that house. I mean, and then on top of it, she also finds out, you know, something else went down, you know, but she's really happy. You know, he said that he's noticed that she be circling certain things in the magazines, and he pretty much tried to buy everything that she liked, kind of like on the low budget side, but got pretty much everything she wanted. You know, she see that Joey has his own room. Well, Joey and his brother have a room. The girls have their own room, and now they have their own room. And she just got really emotional because she said, I really wanted this for the kids, and I'm so grateful, and I'm very thankful. And they're having this moment, but before that happens, Lucian gets a call from Su-Ling Mai, a.k.a. Pete. Pete lets him know about a dude in therapy who said that he was an officer on our, in our precinct. He said that, you was his partner and that, you weren't doing your job and he got hit and that's how he ended up getting shot. But I knew the boy was lying, so I was kind of playing along with it. And then the next thing I know, these cops say that he violated his probation and they literally dragged him out of the hospital. And immediately, Lucian knew that he was talking about Joey. So now he had to deliver this news to Natalie, who is now on cloud 9 because she has a new house, and now her kids are no longer going to be living in the ghetto, and they now have a house of their own. Now, and then all of a sudden, as soon as Natalie got on, went to the master bedroom, and was like, come on, Lucian, let's get over here so we can break this bed in. And that's when he dropped the bomb and said that, Joey's been arrested for violating his probation, and he's now at the infirmary. And he kind of grabs her by her hand and is like, look, we're going to get through this. Now, the episode ends with Psycho Betty going to Brad's office. Brad's like, what the hell are you doing here? He's like, I needed to talk to you. He's like, I'm going to kick your ass. And then next thing you know, he starts counting. He's like, look, I just came to let you know I dropped a lawsuit against you. I'm here to let you know that it's been finalized. I'm not going to sue you because I know you really need the money. And, you did save that baby, but then again, it may not be my baby. It's probably Lucian's baby. But he's counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Because he's like, in 10 seconds, I'm going to fuck you up. And he gets about to 9, and he's like, okay, I just wanted to bring that to you, let you know that everything is cool, and I'm not coming after you, and thank you, and you're welcome. And as soon as he's about to leave, Eddie comes in. He's like, what the hell you doing? And Eddie's like, what the hell you doing here? And then Randall's like, well, I was just leaving. He's like, oh no, you're not going any damn where. So he ends up locking the damn office door, and then Brad's kind of standing there like, what the fuck, Eddie? Because it's like, what kind of shit you got going on now? And that's where the episode ended. So I'm now waiting to see what's about to go down. Because now you got a locked office, you got Eddie, and you got Brad. 2 people who hate Randall's black ass, who hate Psycho Betty to the fullest. So we're going to see what's going to happen next. But that's my review. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I do a video. Like this video, share this video, and comment on this video. And I will be back with you next week for the next episode of Loving You Is Wrong. So until then, everybody, take care.